here in New Brunswick, and my name is Jeff Whipple in Fredericton, and today it is another edition of Tech20 Tuesday. And you know, the world's really changing from this idea that computing is stationary and it's built into your computer, and that we've gone from desktops to laptops, which were relatively mobile, and now we've gone to phones and tablets, and this mobile web has really begun to change the world, and we're just starting to see it here in North America, but the changes that are taking place in other areas of the world, particularly in Asia, are huge and just almost startling in terms of what's happening. And one of the big shifts that's happening is the idea of mobile web and these cute little things that are called QR codes. Now, QR codes stand for quick response codes, but I'm going to stop there because today we've got a special guest, and I'm going to turn over to my good friend and colleague Wayland Dixon, and I'm going to stop sharing my desktop. Wayland is a technology mentor here in Anglophone West School District, and he is out of the Woodstock Education Center, the former District 14, and Wayland's going to give us the lowdown on QR codes and using them in the classroom. Wayland, welcome and thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Jeff. Really glad to join you today. I was a little worried you were going to carry on and give away all the information. Now maybe you could just double check and tell me my audio is okay.
Your audio is breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Sounds like you might be on a slow connection.
But we'll just carry on.
Yeah, just carry on. That's okay. It'll pick up.
Okay. So, today's session is a bit interactive in that I've embedded some codes inside of the presentation. So if someone's sitting there with a app or a QR reader installed, and they're more than welcome to play along and scan as you go. QR codes, if you haven't seen one before, are those little kind of black and white barcodes. You see I'm standing on one right now in this opening slide. So if you want to scan that, go ahead. I'm going to move on. As Jeff mentioned, QR stands for quick response. It's a 2D image. And it can contain any piece of information. Really, we're looking at linking some sort of virtual information. It's out there on the web, or it's encoded inside this black and white mishmash. Really, it makes no sense except to the app or the mobile QR reader that you have installed on your smartphone or iPod or iPad or whatever. The app that I'm using currently, my favorite app of the day, is called Enigma, and I believe there's an Android version. I've got a link to the iOS version on the screen in our classrooms. Is that it's free. I'm all about the free, and it's super easy for students and teachers to use. As I said, it's a link between the physical world and some virtual piece of information. I've kind of gone around. This picture was on outside a guidance office, I believe, at the high school, and all the posters all seem to have the QR code on them, linking to a video or linking to their Facebook page or something. And basically what we're doing is making the world clickable. Anything you see can have a virtual connection. So, and here's a couple more. There's the Digital Boot Camp in Fredericton coming up March 4th, as you see. The open house for McGill, they're just putting in their dates. So there's all sorts of information that can be coded into these QR codes. Here's a few that I've made, just in terms of digitizing your presence. There's 3 QR codes for Anglophone School District West. The first one is a link to the website. On the right-hand side is a link to a phone number. And the lower left one is actually a link to the Twitter feed, which we'll all be following tomorrow morning, just to make sure we don't have to get out of bed. Now, as I said, they're very easy to create. This is a grade 4-5 class, here, local school, and we had the students set up creating QR codes. This was a math activity where they were creating QR codes that contained information about different geometric shapes. I think they were doing rectangles and squares, and so they would encode all the information, all the different attributes for the different shapes, and generate the QR codes. They then saved the QR codes and gave them to their teacher, who then took them and created a smart board kind of a quiz or a game. You can see in the lower left one student, she's looks like an iPad, she's holding it up, she's going to get the clues, and she's going to have to make some sort of educated guess based on the information as to what shape her mystery shape is. But it was very easy to do. You can see that my favorite site right now is this goqr.me with an encoded link. Pretty easy to follow, and I would say within a minute to 2 minutes of showing these students this site, they were able to go on and start right away creating their own codes. This is a poster we had created for Literacy Night at the middle school, and the QR code we created actually added the event details to a person's smartphone, to their calendar. Oh, look, someone has control of my screen. That's nice. Thank you, Wendy. Do you mind if I go back? Uh-oh. Ooh, possession going on there. Where was I? Not here. Oh. Wendy deleted my screen. Fooled you, Wendy. I got it back. This QR code actually was put on the poster. We hung these posters in the local grocery stores and in the halls of the school so that people could scan it, and it would automatically add the details to the event to their calendar, or just store them in their phone so that if they got home or later on, they would have the information. They wouldn't have to think, oh, what was that I saw at that poster? It was stored automatically for them with that code. Lots of different ideas for using QR codes in this, and again, if you want to play along, you can see that very useful in that at the bottom of the screen, you see I have the link, the long, drawn-out, nonsense link to a form that I created in Google Docs, and I could send that to you. You could type it out, or the same link can be created as a QR code, in which case people would scan that and it would take them directly to the form. So if I scan that, excuse me, that would take me to this form for this, basically a survey about this session. So you can see much easier to scan this than print out this, or retype this. This was a neat idea. I can't claim credit for this idea, but I did put the link at the bottom. But this is an interactive bulletin board, and students had done book reports and then generated QR codes that linked to videos of them discussing different parts of the book, whether it was their favorite character or the plot, what have you. It doesn't have to be a video. It could be a short written response, something like that. But basically, it brings this bulletin board to life, and that it's more than just a picture, more than just typed out words posted on there. Students can find out more by scanning, or rather, even parents visiting the school could find out more about these different books and what the students are doing. Hope you're checking my time, Jeff. I'm just kind of working away here. Here's another example of an interactive bulletin board, in that each piece of artwork at the bottom has a QR code. It's hard to see from this image, but the QR code matches up with, is actually the answer to the quiz, and that there, if you see the pieces above, it's a matching question, and that each poem in the middle corresponds with a picture at the bottom, and so you can guess and play that game, and to find out the answer, you would actually scan the code that is on the image. And again, I can't take credit for this. I was kind of surfing around and came across this and thought it was a great idea. So I guess when we look in our classrooms or in our schools, we look at, what are the different things that we are putting out there, either sending home or putting on the walls, posting in the grocery stores that we want people to know about. And then the question is, how do we enhance those things, from putting the school website address in your newsletter to setting up an online survey, or even creating little QR codes. We know our textbooks are a little bit outdated. So even if there were online resources that we could link to, we could generate QR codes for those and kind of annotate the textbook by inserting those at different pages. So a lot of different ideas. I mean, really, it is the imagination that is the only limit here. So we're moving right along here. The department has graciously offered a $100 prize to the first 5 people that can scan this. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and let the first 5 people go to this website and collect their prize. How's that sound, Jeff? It's coming out of your pocket.
Oh, we got lots. We got lots. I do like, $100. So, I'm sure the bank will love it too.
This. Someone tried to click on the link. Nice try. You must scan to claim the prize. I think Jeff just got the joke.
Yeah, the bank's going to love that. Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll put that in today.
Yeah, so I'll just click that. So that brings you to your $100 prize. For everyone out there, you can just print that off. My bank said they would take it, so I'm sure yours will too. But again, this is just an example of a QR code linked to a website. That website, I have an image there, but it could be the answer to a question. It could be instructions to a lab, a science lab, something like that.
Waylon?
If you think of labeling things in your classroom.
Waylon, we have a question.
Yes.
Arnesta just asked, how do you scan? Do you want to talk about what kind of devices they need to be able to do that? Waylon?
Sure, yeah. The idea that it's a mobile, mobile link. I think we have a bit of a delay here, but I'm going to work through it. The mobile connection is that usually it's a smartphone or a handheld device of some sort that would be contain this reader, this app. There is desktop software that you can install that will use a webcam to scan things. If I had my, let me see here. I'm just going to bring up. No, I'm going to go back. And we're going to look at no. So this would be no, it's not really the best way to show this, I guess. Sorry, I'm going to send you to a link here. And you're all familiar probably with the Creative Creative Commons. Sorry, that throw me off with the question. I wasn't expecting a question. Oh my goodness. Jeff, can you refresh me? What is the name of the place that does the instructional videos?
Common Craft. Common Craft?
Common Craft. Yes. Excellent. Thank you. Their codes are scanned. We're down to about 3 minutes here by my clock, and Jeff, if you can correct me, but if there's more questions or ideas about this, I'd love to discuss them.
Yeah, one of the cool things, and I see Chris Graves here. Chris, if you've got your mic on, or if you have a mic, if you could turn it on. I know that the folks out in New Maryland, at New Maryland Elementary School, have been doing a cool project. What they've been doing is having the grade 4 and 5 kids actually read books and hosting that audio track on the web. You can host it anywhere. You can even put it on a wiki space and just host it in the background of a wiki space without showing it publicly. Just all you need is to be able to host it on the web. So place it up on the web, and then what you can do is create the QR codes for that particular audio track for the book. So the grade 4 and 5 kids have been reading the books, putting the web or the audio track up on the web, creating a QR code and posting the QR code on the cover of the book. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but what they're doing is then the kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2 kids can actually go and have an older kid read to them almost on demand. So they take their iPod or their iPad to the library, pick out the book, scan the cover, and the iPod will pull up the audio track and actually read it to the kids on demand. So that's a pretty cool way to have reading buddies on demand for some of the younger ones. Is that what you guys are doing, Chris? Is that how that's working?
One thing I'll just jump in is that I really like that idea, and I did read of another school that was doing that. It's important to know that. You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, just go ahead, Waylon.
iPods have to have internet connection.
That's right, and a camera in them.
For it to connect to the podcast or the audio files.
Yeah. Chris, how's that working out for you guys?
Right. Latest gen.
We have not used this yet for that purpose. I know we've got a couple of grade 2 teachers that are looking into it. But what we've done primarily is just posting the kids reading or giving some sort of summary of the book and putting it on our wiki space right in there. So this is not the next step actually for us. It's really for us to go this route.
Cool. I guess I'm just a little bit ahead of your thing. I just hear through the grapevine what you guys are up to. Cool stuff. Thanks, Chris.
I guess in some cases. Oh.
Go ahead, Waylon.
The one last thing I mentioned is, sometimes we look at this as maybe just a hook for the students. So what I did was kind of enhanced one of our other activities, geocaching, but including the QR codes. And I would take the clues and the directions and the write-ups from geocaching.com and create the codes. And then I would have my son actually use his iPod to scan the codes, get the information, read it to me, and then take us on our little treasure seeking with the geocaching. And that seemed to get him, into reading. He was more interested. He was doing the reading, but not really realizing that I was, I'll say, tricking him into it.
I love the geocaching idea. That's really cool.
I think so.
Yeah. Rose, the biggest thing is that when kids have these mobile devices, which we're going to see more and more and more of, I mean, these are really sort of taking over the web world. We're going to see fewer and fewer people walking around with computers. Laptops are going to be really gone. The world is going to center around mobile devices, the world of the web. And so what it does, it means that they can actually access information. You can post information that they can access really quickly by scanning, rather than actually having to type in the URL or that web address or go and search things. This actually takes them directly to a page that you want your student, or if you're running a business, your consumer or your clients to be able to use. And so this allows you to direct people really quickly to those things. One of the really cool ways I've seen this used, yeah, good point, Heather, you can actually change the content, keep the same code. So if you have a code on, for instance, a poster, you can always have updated content pointing on that particular website, as long as the address is the same. One of the really cool ways I've seen this used, I haven't actually seen it in person, is for shopping. If you go to Asia now, the largest grocery store in Korea doesn't even have physical space. What they're doing is, as you're driving, or as you're getting on the subway train on the way home, if you want to have some stuff delivered to your house, if you want to shop, you basically scan all these pictures that are on the wall at the subway station, and so you scan them and say, I want 2 of those and 3 of these and 2 of those, and it actually, your phone will deliver or directly send that order to the grocery store, and by the time you're off the train and into your house, that order's been delivered to you direct to your home. So we're going to see more and more of this. The mobile web is really going to demand a different kind of web presence, a different kind of web activity, and this is one of the ones that's really coming along very, very quickly. So thank you very much, Waylon, for your time this afternoon. It was wonderful to have you along with us. Appreciate you sharing with us some of the ideas that you have.
Jeff, I've got my,
Yep. So again, Waylon, thank you. Any last questions for Waylon? He'll be sticking around for a few minutes, and so will I. So if you have other questions, but for now we're going to end this edition of Tech 20 Tuesday. I see Waylon's putting up some notes for us, and we'll be sure to make sure that those notes are also included on the Tech 20 Tuesday page for today's session. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you again next week. And we will be looking at Pinterest. And believe me, that is something I know nothing about. So I'm really looking forward to Pinterest next week. My wife tells me that I'm not to go there because it's a dangerous place. So we will see you all next week on Tech 20 Tuesday. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye. And hopefully you stay inside tomorrow, out of the snow.